Number 2, Exeter Community Library License Agreement.
We prepared a license agreement between the township and the Exeter Library Association, which is a separately organized entity under Pennsylvania law. As we went through some of that recent litigation involving the construction, we realized that there wasn't anything set forth in writing, so we thought it would be appropriate to have some kind of agreement between the two entities. So we placed that before you. If there are any comments to it, I can make changes, but at this point, if you reviewed it and don't have any suggestions or issues with any of the content, I can move forward and contact the Library Association and get a copy over to them and start discussing with them, see if they have any issues.
So they haven't seen this?
They have not.
I was wondering. There's some things in there that
it's in draft form.
I was wondering.
And just so everyone knows, the lease, the rent payment from the library will be $1 per year. Just in case. To make it legal.
But what you can do is provide, instead of taking the time now, if you like, you can provide them by way of an email to me and circulate that, or whatever your wish is.
I would like to insert it. It's not possible, but just because I have the floor, and I have the right because I have the floor, I would like to insert a provision in there that it be a shush library.
A quiet library?
A quiet library. It's a library. By definition, a library is a quiet place.
Is it loud?
Now, I understand that the children's wing does not necessarily need to be a quiet space because children will be children. But adults understand boundaries, and adults should be quiet when they're in a library. And for some reason, Exeter doesn't get this.
We have a little room in the back. You can have it.
No, I don't understand. No little room in the back. When you're in the stacks, it should be quiet. And people should not be in there on their cell phones. They should not be there yelling across the room to the librarians, having a conversation about nothing that has to do with the periodicals about libraries. And maybe it's because I've spent many years in a library that I have issues with this, but so I would like to insert that, but because I probably would not have a consensus among my fellow supervisors, but because I have the floor and I can say this, hopefully it'll be in the minutes somehow.
Actually, I do agree with you wholeheartedly.
I understand when they were in the Dunn building that it was not possible, and I put up with it. I fully expected when they were in the new building that they would go back to what a library should be. I've not seen it in their power to go there. I'm finished. Fall off my soapbox.
Anybody else would like a shush
I
library?
don't disagree with the point, but I think it's inappropriate to put in a license agreement.
Oh,
It's not.
Yeah, I just, because I had the floor and the opening
Gotcha.
came up.
In my conversations then with the library representative, stress that point.
It might,
Please, some of us that they would.
Quiet.
it might be better mentioned at the time of budgeting.
I have taken the opportunity.
That might be a stronger way to send a message. That's all I'm
I've
suggesting.
expressed my opinion every opportunity I had with them, and it seems to fall on deaf ears. Maybe because it's too loud over there and they can't hear me, but I don't know.
I agree with Lisa.
Yeah.
I've started going back to the library, and when you're in there, even in the middle of the day, it's just, get there at even 10:30, and there's just a lot of hubbub going on. Not just in the children's part, which is a whole separate wing, but in the main library. I mean, there's people using computers, there's people searching for jobs, there's people trying to do stuff, and it's very noisy.
Okay. Well, at the very least, we can give them notice. And then, as budget time rolls around, maybe there should be follow-up. All right, so
Okay.
if the board's of a mind, I'll approach the Library Association about that.
Well, I think I can make a
That's
comment on that since everybody else has had the floor. But I
Go
think
ahead.
that's what the people want. They never from day one have wanted a library. And I think our
Maybe
numbers
true.
prove that that's what the people want, or we wouldn't be the busiest library in the county. We wouldn't have the highest circulation of any library in the county. So I think the people enjoy the library as it is. It's not only a library, it is the community center of Exeter Township. And the numbers prove that, the people count prove that. Just look at the statistics every month. And if they weren't happy with it, the people would talk and they would ask for a library. And they don't want a library, they want to have what they have. So,
Well, I'll counter that by the people happen to be sitting at the other end of this table, and your circulation are there because I send a note in and say, please check out this book for me because I refuse to step foot in there. And sometimes my note comes back saying, come check out your own books because, no, from my messenger, because if you want the book, go into break down and go in the library yourself. And I won't, and I go down to the city of Reading. But sometimes my messenger breaks down and does check out my book for me. But the people, you know, Don here says, no, he goes in anyway because he has to go in. And he's not happy with it either. So I don't think, you can make numbers say whatever you want them to say, and by saying, well, it's what the people want, because just look at the numbers. But some people are just tolerating it and using the library anyway. And so I don't know that you can jump to the conclusion by saying it's what the people want.
Well,
So I think we've beaten this horse. But
yes, I think we've beaten it up
So thank
pretty
you
good.
for that.
But anyway, so we will move on with the
Thank